Hi, my name is Stephanie Rodenberg-Lewis, owner of Type 1 Talk Therapy, and today we're going to be talking about data and anxiety. As you know, data definitely has its place in the management of type 1 diabetes. But what if the data is increasing your anxiety? This can be true for the person living with type 1, as well as the caregivers and loved ones of the person with type 1. As a person living with type 1, we receive an influx of data on a daily basis. From that data, we are constantly making decisions. You may have heard that the average type 1 makes approximately 180 decisions per day just on the management of type 1. So how can you tell if your data is increasing your anxiety, and what can you do about it? I ask people to check in on what they're noticing in their body when they check their Dexcom or Libre. Do they notice things like increased heart rate, increase in blood pressure, or an overall feeling of stress? Do they find themselves constantly checking their CGM? This may be a sign that you're feeling stressed by your data. So you may be asking, but what do I do to stop looking at my data? Well, as much as I'd love to say we don't have to look at data, unfortunately that's not realistic. However, I do talk with clients about reducing the amount of time they spend looking at their CGM. I also often have this conversation with caregivers. So where is a good place to start? Obviously, I'm not a medical doctor, but I do advise clients to start at times when there's little insulin on board and when they're not engaged in strenuous activity. We know that we tend to not see as many fluctuations in blood sugars during this time. Oftentimes, we don't even realize the overconsumption of data is stressful until we consciously make an effort to reduce it. So whether you're the person living with type 1 or the caregiver, check in with your relationship between your CGM and your anxiety. I hope that you find this information helpful. Again, my name is Stephanie Rodenberg-Lewis. I've been living well with type 1 diabetes since 1984. I'm a licensed therapist and I'm also the parent of a type 1.